Hey guys, it's me, Tori, Miss Naked Gardener, and I left off on a recent video explaining why I am now weighing our eggs, and the goal is just to have a much better hatch rate. Now, without even doing that, the last year, I want to say that we were right around 80% on our hatch rate. But since then, I was doing a lot more homework, just trying to learn more, just to be better. I'm always trying to, whatever I'm doing, I'm just trying to be better at it. And I have learned from people that know a lot more than me. Mandolin Royal is somebody that has been raising the American breast for a few years longer than us, and she's definitely somebody that I look up to when it comes to this. And my mentor, Curtis at Webfoot Farms, actually started mentoring us. One of the things that I learned is that it is really important to weigh the eggs. Not just weigh the eggs, but look at the egg, at the shape, making sure that there's no defects on it. And as I have been collecting the eggs every day, I am measuring them. I'm only putting 58 grams or more on my egg turner here. Today is day 10. Typically, as I mentioned in a previous video, 7 days is ideal, but because I've had luck with 10 days and I'm now improving with saving everything 58 grams or more, it's going to be kind of a test to me to push the envelope a little bit. But today is day 10. I generally do not double stack them on my egg turner. I think it's probably time to get another one, but it's all of today's eggs, and I knew that I was going to be dividing them. I just finished weighing the last of today's eggs. The last few days, these are the ones that are below that 58 grams or didn't have the right shape to them. We had quite a bit more than this, but I washed them. They're still good eggs, and they are going to be a good egg salad here soon. I want to show you and give you an example of the egg shape that I really don't like. You see the defects at the bottom of that? It is a nice egg. It's actually this one's 72 grams, and it's a nice size, but because of the defects and the shape on that, it's not one that I want to put in the incubator, because in the past I have paid attention to ones like that had very dicey low hatch rates. So it's not something that I want to, like if I see that it's something I haven't had success with, I'm just not going to use it. Initially in incubating, I started off with this Nurture Right 360. And it's done really well. I just realized after I got a second one, because I needed it, that I needed to upgrade to something larger. And I still use these for ducks and geese. And I even got a turner that is specifically for goose and turkey eggs because they're a lot bigger. But I still like to use the light on this, and I'll show you that. So my final count is I have 141 eggs here, and there's two groups with the markings. What I plan to do is to put the green fires on one tray and the American breasts on their own tray. That's a way that I keep them separated. Another step I take, when we put them into their separate trays when it's time to lock down, I also, as the American breasts tray is hatching and I'm getting them out and putting them in the incubator, I do a little toe punch. That allows me to identify which ones are our green fires compared to our OG crew that we have worked really hard to improve the genetics on. So what I'm planning to do now, you don't have to do any kind of candling when you're putting them on there. I use this light just to check for cracks. Now, you can look to see if it's fertilized. It's much better if you're in a darker lighting set. This is one of my OGs, so I'm gonna go ahead and start stacking those in. I'm gonna see how many I can fit on here. And again, I'm just looking for any type of hairline cracks. I would see it a lot better in a darker room, but I have gotten pretty good at identifying that without even using this. There's an old wives' tale about eggs shaped like this into a really sharp point. Apparently, it's supposed to indicate that it's gonna be a rooster. I don't know that. It's just an old wives' tale. If you know that for fact or information, comment down below and let me know your opinion on that. In 7 days, we're gonna do a real good check on these in darkness, and then we'll have a better idea. We probably candle ours a little bit on the frequent side. We do it at 7 days, at 14 days, and at 21 days right at lockdown, just to check for viability. If all of a sudden something stopped developing, I want to know that. Each one of these trays will hold about 24 eggs of this size. Let's see here. Just making sure I'm putting the right ones on here. Okay, this is a green fire. This egg to me is already a questionable egg. I don't know for a fact, but for me, I like to put a question mark if something seems questionable. And with the experience I have, what makes me question it is it just illuminates like very bright compared to some of the density I've seen on some of the others. So it gets on my question radar. This one has some markings. I don't trust that. I'm gonna take this out of it. I'm surprised I didn't catch that earlier. So that's actually 140 eggs. We don't have as many green fire hens, so I already know that I'm gonna have more OG hatch outs. Ooh, I missed this one. It's 47 grams. That's a no-no. So down to 139. Each of these trays holds 24 eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and load these up, and I don't have a whole lot more green fires, so we'll see. 2 days ago, Sydney took some time to clean out the cabinet that we use. What we are currently using is the CT180 by Hatching Time. We've been very impressed by it. We really like it. We've gone through a few seasons with it. Last night, I went ahead and started it because I wanted to get the humidity where I wanted it. I have the humidity at 60% right now and the temperature at 99. In our experience, that has worked out pretty well, and I do monitor it and add water as I need to. Something that I like about that incubator is we don't have to watch it as closely. I did find that with the Nurture Right 360 that I did have to kind of babysit it almost on a daily basis. So I kind of feel in comparison that the CT180 is a lot lower maintenance, and it's almost a set it and forget it, and if something's off, it actually sets off an alarm for me to check. Each rack here has a little cord, and it plugs into, and I look for the shortest one. There's a short one here, there, all of these, like for every rack there's another one. And this is what starts the turner on here. So when I plug this in, until I put them into lockdown, they are going to be rocking a little bit all day long. So now it knows to go ahead and start turning. Something I've grown to appreciate about this incubator is this is the measurement, like it drops. Like I've been opening this door a lot, loading eggs. I gotta open it one more time. I'm gonna explain that. But it does get back up because I want it at 99 and I want it at 60, and it is like going back pretty quickly, and it's because of the unit it uses to put in the humidity and capture the heat. So that is something I've been impressed with, is that I have been able to check on things, and when I'm opening it several times, it goes right back up really quickly. I got it pretty full. There's only about 2 spots. This is the first time that I've actually just about used all of the trays and almost maxed it out. Now I did reshuffle things. Initially I had the green fire second because I have 98 of my OG eggs and only 41 of my green fire, which that's the green fire. Most of these are the green fire, and I had 2 extra way back there in the very back of the OGs, and I marked them so that it would call my attention to it when it comes to locking down and keeping them separated. In 7 days, we will be checking on them and see how many actually make it to the finish line. So this is my process every time we collect the eggs and are ready to do our first test. Again, we're aiming for 80%. We've had that in the past. I would just like to have a higher hatching rate. I'm looking at every piece of information that I've learned and just try to improve. I'm always trying to improve. I have been very, very happy with this incubator. We are affiliates now. If it is something that you're interested in, we do have a discount link for it. I'll put it in the description below. When we got it, we were not affiliates and we did not have any discounts on it, but I'm happy to pass that along to people that are interested in their products. One of the next things I want to get, or about to look into it, is they have a really great brooder system for inside the house, because currently Sydney and I, we've learned just from trial and error that for the first week we've had a lot better results with the chicks just being a lot healthier when we have them in the house for the first week. However, we are hatching out a lot more because we have been growing our breeding stock, and so that's resulted in crammed space. Currently we have 2 large totes that we put them in. I put the green fires in one and the American breast in the other. However, as you saw, we have 98 of the OG eggs and 39 of the green fire group. So that's not going to be a fair division between those 2 brooder boxes. I do have a way of keeping track of the different ones. I mentioned before the little toe punch. When it comes time for us to get them into lockdown and as they're hatching out, I'll try to capture some of that so that you guys can see what our process is. hopefully, it might not be the hatching out of this group, but that other brooder system that I'm really interested in from Hatching Time would allow us a lot more options in dividing different groups for our very small hatching program that we're doing for people. And this year we are going to be attempting to ship day-old chicks out to people. It's not something that we've done before. It is something that we have been doing our homework on. In the past, I haven't been comfortable with that. So hopefully we will learn everything that we can. I just want to do it the best, healthiest, right way for our chicks. And currently what it's been is just people picking them up. Once we have our tests above or at 80% and above for the hatching rate, then we do actually start shipping our eggs out where we can, because we're NPIP certified, which allows us to ship hatching eggs across state line. I do tell people, and this is just to be fully transparent with our experience, that hatching eggs, it's a tricky thing, especially when it goes in shipping because of the motion and the movement. Now, we do everything on our end to pack them correctly. However, there is an issue with them getting tossed around, and it generally affects the hatch rate. So people that get a dozen might get only, the packaging that we do does help a lot, and we have had good results with our packaging. But I feel like it's responsible to say that the average hatch rate on shipped eggs is around 40%, or 40 to 50%, I want to say, the last time I checked. We have had higher rates than that, but I feel it's fair to be transparent. So when people approach me and say that they only want 1 dozen, I want to tell them, hey, you might only get half of those, and all or half of those might be roosters. So if you are trying to start your own flock, I would definitely get a minimum of 2 dozen and then start from there moving forward. So that's just advice from me. I will try to update you guys, and hopefully we'll have good results.